Welcome to Screw the Commute, the entrepreneurial podcast dedicated to getting you out of the car and into the money. With your host, lifelong entrepreneur and multimillionaire, Tom Antion.
Hey everybody, it's Tom here with episode 706 of Screw the Commute podcast. Hey, how would you like to have unlimited energy to run your business? I joke all the time that I get more done before breakfast than most executives get done in their entire careers. And in lots of cases, that's not even a joke. So I cover all kinds of stuff that helps you as an entrepreneur in this podcast, but this is one of those episodes that I rarely talk about this stuff. And that's where to get the energy to be a great entrepreneur. So I'm going to talk about keeping your carbs low. That's what we're going to talk about today. And I also have some interesting insights on how the food industry is trying to keep you addicted. All right, that's really scary stuff. All right, hope you didn't miss episode 705. That was on signature files and canned responses. This is one of my automation techniques, and you know I love automation. It can save you hours and hours and hours of typing while taking care of customers and prospects lightning fast. That was episode 705. And as always, to get to a back episode, you go to screwthecommute.com/ and then the episode number. That was 705. So we finished up our summit, and I think we're going to have a follow-up this week or next week sometime for anybody that's interested. So keep your eyes open on your email for that. And if you aren't on my email, make sure you grab a copy of my automation ebook. That's kind of what that episode 705 was in part about, at screwthecommute.com/automate free, and you'll be on the email list for announcements of upcoming events. And then follow me on TikTok at Digital Multimillionaire, tiktok.com/the @Digital Multimillionaire. Okay, let's talk about maximizing your energy so you can make the most of your business and your life. Well, the first thing I have to say is that I'm no health practitioner or a doctor. I'm just conveying something that has worked well for me and millions of other people. And I'm talking about lowering your carb intake. But before I get into that, let me tell you about a book I'm reading called Salt, Sugar, Fat: How the Food Giants Hooked Us. And this is an older book, but I'm only in the first 18 pages. Okay. And it really laid out what the people in the food industries are doing to you and your kids. All right. So here's a couple examples. The food industry and virtually all the big name companies you've ever heard of spend millions and millions of dollars researching, and here's a term for you, the so-called bliss point. Bliss point. And this is roughly defined as the combination of the cheapest salt, sugar, and fat that they can come up with that maximizes the great feeling from the food and makes you want to eat more. And many of these studies were done on children to get them hooked young to maximize the money made from them their entire lives. So this bliss point, well, in other words, if it's not sweet enough, it's not good. If it's too sweet, it's no good. It's also not good. It kind of reminds me of the old Goldilocks and the Three Bears. All right, Goldilocks, I'll read a little segment for that. Goldilocks was hungry. She tasted the porridge from the first bowl. "The porridge is too hot," she exclaimed. So she tasted the porridge from the second bowl. "The porridge is too cold," she said. So she tasted the bowl of porridge, the last bowl. "Ah, this porridge is just right," she said happily, and she ate it all up. Okay, that's the bliss point that the food companies strive for to get you and your kids hooked. Here's another example of a thing they call a flavor burst. Now remember, they want the ingredients to be as cheap as possible. In this case, they found that if they simply ground salt into finer granules, they could use less of it and zing your tongue better to make you want to eat more. All right. They also found that sugar doesn't affect your just doesn't affect your tongue. It also affects your esophagus and all the way to your stomach. And I've only got to page 18. I'm afraid to read the rest of this book. I mean, geez. And I know I've been an overeater my whole life, but part of it's maybe me, but part of it is what they've been doing to me. All right, so back to lowering your carb intake. It's really a pretty simple principle. Eating carbs generally makes you want to eat more carbs, all right? Eating carbs makes you feel good while also giving you a burst of blood sugar. And that burst is short-lived and it results in a crash, like when you get sleepy mid-morning after having bagels and donuts for breakfast, or a bunch of sugar in your coffee, or at the seminars that I speak at when everyone's tired after lunch. Now, logical people, see, they play against your logic here. They think, okay, I feel sleepy and tired, and when I ate the donut and candy bar or the sugary drink from the coffee shop, I got a burst of energy and I felt good again. So I'll do that. Then that eventual crash keeps the cycle going. You crash, you say, oh, I feel terrible. I need some energy. I'm going to go grab some other sugary thing that gives you that burst. It's like a porpoise thing, up and down. Also, many people report something called brain fog when they eat too many carbs. Now, how are you going to run and improve your business if you have brain fog half the day because of these up and down cycles? Not only is the up and down bad, it's hard to have a long period of high energy that gives you continuity and high productivity over a period of time. For instance, how this could hurt you, or how it hurt me. When I was going through these ups and down cycles, I was writing a book or a new book or something. Well, since I was too tired to work for long stretches on the book, I would work on it and then go through a tired period. Then when I got my energy back from eating something bad, I had to reread what I had just written to get back in the flow. It took 4 times longer to get the darn book written. Now, for me, reducing carbs has meant natural weight loss. I certainly don't exercise as much as I should sitting here at the computer all day, but I'm always alert and highly productive. And I think my employees would tell you that. How does he turn out 705 episodes? I'm up in the morning early. I'm working late at night. I'm consulting, doing all this stuff. And I'm a big guy. All right. I'm not a kind of little guy. And I just got high energy all the time because I make a concerted effort to keep my carbs low. And my sleep is better too. A lot of people report that and that their skin looks better and their sex life improves. And well, I'm gonna plead no contest there. Since I'm by myself most of the time. So I knew this was quite a bit different than the things I usually cover, but high energy really helps you do great things with your business and in your life because you have time to play with your kids and to take care of your spouse and do all the things you want to do in life. But if you're tired all the time, it's a tough road. And if you aren't full-time in your business yet, it's even more important because you work all day for somebody else and you still need that extra energy to work your business in the evenings and weekends until you can tell the boss to take that job and shove it. You've heard me say on here lots of times, my job is to make it too expensive for you to go to work, okay? Because the time you're spending on your own business now equals or exceeds what you were making going to work and doing all the hassles you got to do with the backstabbing. I was just talking to somebody else today. They got so upset because somebody came in, wanted their position, started backstabbing them. None of that happens to me around here, all right? So it's great to tell the boss to take this job and shove it, work for yourself, have high energy to do all the things you want to do. And I got to tell you, that energy is already inside you. Please let it out by reducing your carbs. And of course, check with your physician, whoever you got to check with. All right. I'm not a doctor. I'm not crap when it comes to health. All right. But I know that this has worked for me and millions of other people. Now, something new I got coming up. Remember, I got energy to produce new stuff. It's a new year. So I've got my great podcast guest program. As soon as I get done here with this podcast, I'm working on the sales letter and the program. And if you tell me, and since it's not totally finished and rolled out, if you tell me you heard it on this podcast, I'll give you $50 off. But it's going to show you how to become a great podcast guest, how to get on podcasts, get millions of dollars of free publicity, get warm introductions to tens of thousands of people to promote your business and yourself. So if you're right now, I don't have the sales letter up on a webpage yet, so you can just email me at tomantion@gmail.com if you're interested. All right, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Cut those carbs.